So just to start this open mic off, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up somebody that I admire so much.
Girl, just up there, stop.
Yes. So this person, like I met her when I was in high school and called myself getting into slam poetry, and like she has such a distinct style and cadence that I'm pretty sure I copied it a couple of times in a poem, but only I feel like I know that. So that just speaks to how dope she is. She has out some books, and I'll let her tell you about it. But when I tell you her words, they communicate well on page and on the stage. Like, this is one of the most talented people I've ever experienced in my life. And without further ado, I would like to bring up the Coffy Davis.
Thank you, Drekkia. I'm gonna have to pull this mic down a little bit, a little notch. So I'm a little shorter. I'm really retired, y'all. So I'm coming out of retirement tonight for a brief moment. So I do the March for Black Women and Girls. If you haven't heard of it, you should get with us next year. But we do the march every year annually to bring attention to the women and girls in our community, Black women and girls that are being murdered at like astounding rates right now. So it has increased within the last couple of years, like 40%. So that means like every 6 hours, we're losing a young woman or a young girl in our community to murder. And we see all the murders that's going on with the males also, but I just didn't feel like enough attention was being brought to the young girls in the community, so I decided to do the march here. Is that needed? Oh, my bad. I just felt like it was, okay. All right, I'm still good? Okay. So, that's the boom mic, okay. All right, so I decided to do that march, and I did it last year at Bernice Gardens. That was the first march that we did here, and then we went out to Atlanta and did a march out there to bring the same amount of attention. So last year I read the names of all the women lost in the last couple of years here, and it was 93 in the state of Arkansas. 93 lost. I read 93 names. This year I read, I think it was like 119 names. Wow. And I did it at Arkansas Baptist this year. So I got my co-worker, one of my colleagues back there, Bernice. She does the work with me. Drekkia comes out and speaks and stuff like that with us. So it's a major effort. This year I did it like 3 weeks ago here, and we're going to be going out to Washington, D.C., and we're going to be bringing attention out there too. So every 6 hours we're losing a Black woman or girl in the U.S. to violence. So with that being said, I'm going to read this poem that I wrote years ago when my sons were little, and I was addressing the violence that was happening to young Black men, and it's called Emmett Still.
Wow.
Drekkia act like she ain't heard this a million times.
I would love it every time.
All right, it's in my book called Ghetto Politics. So Emmett Still. Nowadays, lines between fiction and nonfiction have become erased. Little boy from Money, Mississippi's pain is captured in my son's face. Lynchings have become replaced. It's true. Yeah, things have changed. But we inherited a legacy of pain. My son and I embrace. Even Sundays at Second Baptist can't take this away. A mother's heart aches for things I can't change. My heart breaks for others who visit their son at graves. They cover themselves in black veils of shame. Must be how he was raised. It's too many, I can't remember the murdered Black boys' names. Bird, Dean, James, and now we can add like so many more. Plus they all look the same. They look just like his 5'10" brown skin frame. Just another mother's complaint. Don't hang out at clubs, street corners, say no to drugs and gangs. When you see a fight, walk away. I don't want to be haunted by the choices that you make. Visiting memories like Coretta Scott King in Tennessee at Hotel Lorraine. Shit, we all to blame. Running in place from the past like Asada, Ashanti, and Shabazz. My soul at war with hatred and remorse. Forgiveness is a luxury that freedom can't even afford. Plus, the Klan ain't white no more. We fighting drug wars and die by the same sword. I watch black boys march past my front porch. Could have been just another 14-year-old corpse in a shiny black hearse. Shit, my son looked just like hers. But his scars run deeper than the flesh. I ain't even got no black dress. Her son's image still has the same effect and brings me to tears. Could be my boy in jet, if not for a few years. 105 miles from here. I can't even imagine looking into an open casket, the whole nation walking past it, hearing them screaming and shotgun blasting, and white boys still laughing to this day. I watch black women every day trying to fill the empty space. How many niggas gonna die today? Will there be one? How many nights I pray, Lord, don't let that be my son. See, this one, he ain't made for prison. I had visions of my son in Mississippi visiting, coming up, missing, lynching. But today, it's the streets that could get him. Police saying that my son is resisting. These boys ain't never been no victim. Do you know how many women lose children and wish they died with them? I seen a woman today walking around but ain't living and never will. I still feel the guilt from the night that her son was killed. You ain't here? They say her son looked just like Emmett Still. Face so swollen he can't even be recognized, but he's easily identified by a mother who will always know him by his eyes. I've seen them Browns a million times. I know he's mine. Another boy dies, but tomorrow the sun still shines. You'll be back to business in no time by the end of the week, and we just keep on scraping our children up off the street. And each time we see it on TV, we just silently weep. Please, Lord, don't let that be me. This boy ain't made for gangs. He like chess and video games. I watch him on his bike outside riding. Why childhood gotta be so violent? My boy take his shirt off when he fighting. I got to remind him, these boys don't take no ass whooping like they used to. That same boy that played black ops with you will shoot you and won't think twice. So you get your ass back on that bike. Your life ain't worth no fight. That'd be like suicide. I don't want to get no call in the middle of the night between some cop between coffee breaks and donut bites like your son just got killed. Look in the mirror, son. We look just like Mammy and Emmett Still. Growing up ain't about getting jobs and ain't just about getting jobs and paying bills. It's about knowing that things can get real fast. And I ain't trying to visit you in jail. Your fate in the hands of some judge. I ain't raising no thug. Boy, you ain't even made for drugs. How many boys would be saved if all it took was a mother's love? I still carry you deep down in my gut. Been feeling your hurt since the day of your birth. I just kept repeating the words that I got to push him harder. This boy didn't have his father. I got to push him harder. Medicaid paid for his doctor. I got to push him harder. Push him stronger. I got to push him farther. I got to let him know that boys his same age, round about where we live, his same build, boys that look just like him get killed. Son, you look just like Emmett Still. Thank you.